Hey YouTube! Welcome back. In this video, I want to talk you through everything you need to clear Genshin Impact's Imaginarium Theater. How to access it, how the season works, difficulty levels, leveling and planning, picking cards and bonuses, choosing stages and their different types, and planning for the highest level clears for maximum rewards. Whether you're just starting out or you're a veteran, take what you need from this guide to get those precious rewards. To open the theater, reach Adventure Rank 35 and complete a small world quest, and go to the Mondstadt Library to unlock it. Each season has 3 elements, which means you'll need a minimum number of characters from a variety of elements to enter each month. You can often find which elements will be next up once they've been announced on the Genshin Wiki, which will help you plan your resources and leveling. The Imaginarium Theater runs in seasonal rotation that introduce new casts and refresh the reward pools each season. Seasons are time-limited and reset on the first of each month. There are first-time clear rewards as well as rewards that reset each month, in addition to permanent cosmetics and poses, and things such as tradable cosmetic items. You can also unlock the echoes for your characters, which are cosmetic items that alter the appearance when you sprint. They're a pretty nice addition. On to the difficulty levels. In Imaginarium Theater, there are multiple difficulty levels, which require different numbers of characters to access. Easy requires a minimum of 8 up to 10, and you'll face 3 stages and 1 boss. Normal takes 12. Up to 14, where you will find 6 stages and 2 bosses. Hard has a minimum of 16, up to 24, where you will face 8 stages and 3 bosses. Visionary takes 22 characters up to 26, where you will face 10 stages with 4 bosses, and Lunar takes 28 with up to 32, where you will face 10 main stages and 2 bonus stages. The bonus stages have unique fights, such as a boss and another stage with a special mechanic that can be done anytime before the final stage once they appear. You might be asking, why would I take more than a minimum characters than I need? That's a great question for anyone who wants the easiest possible combat experience in the theater for the best shot at maximizing rewards. Taking additional characters not only gives you more choices, but each character over the minimum grants additional buffs, which power you up. These include more flowers, more HP, attack, defense, and elemental mastery. The additional flowers alone at the start will help you pick more cards than you otherwise would. Therefore, even if characters are not built and they'll stay on the bench, they are worth leveling and bringing along. Imaginarium Theater offers a variety of rewards, ranging from primogems to purely cosmetic. The first time you clear the theater, you'll get bonus rewards, including Mora and a good supply of primos. Additionally, if you want to clear with the stars, which are also known as stellas, you can get artifact XP, transient resin, which is time limited, so make sure you use it before it vanishes, and sanctifying elixirs, if you reach 9 or 12 stars. To obtain the stellas, aka stars, complete the objective of the stage with a faster time or by keeping the monolith above a certain level, depending on the stage. While the rewards for this are nice, unless you're very late in the game, such as Adventure Rank 58 or above, or you spend a certain amount of real money to gain power, which definitely is not worth it for these rewards, so don't fall for that, don't sweat it too much. Get the primos and be done. There are cosmetic rewards as well. Different characters will get access to poses, which you can use when you play around with the camera. Additionally, completing Higher levels will grant a key, which will give you access to complete a character's echo trials. Echo trials will unlock the echo for the character, which gives a nice effect behind the character when you sprint. In order to do the echo trials, you need to unlock it, you need to own the character, get the character to a certain friendship level, and then complete the trial, which will have a variety of different mechanics depending on the character. For example, with Jean, you'll be pushing enemies around. With Ganyu, you'll be freezing enemies. With Karara, you'll be running around as an adorable catbox, etc. If you're looking to level more characters for the next level of Imaginarium Theater, check who are in the starting cast. They're already counted if there's a trial version available, so leveling them this particular season won't help you out if your only goal is to meet the minimum number of characters. You can use Genshin's Character Planner feature to help you track materials and characters while you're leveling. Check out my video on that after this one if you need a bit more info on how that works. To level up characters, you'll need a lot of XP books and Mora, in addition to their world boss materials. I recommend you plan and take advantage of all ley line double drop events, and plan your resin usage accordingly to get plenty of books and Mora. If your goal is level 1 to 70 to unlock the higher levels, this is 903,000 Mora, 63 of their collectible material, and about 166 purple XP books, in addition to the world boss and normal enemy materials. If you're low on a particular stone, remember that you can convert these from one type to another, but check out my leveling and resource planning video for a refresher on that. Planning your roster while playing is important, and it starts with gearing. Generally speaking, you will need one strong main damage dealer per boss. The great news is, with Imaginarium Theater, is that you can invite one of your friends to help you, if they've put them on their showcase. If you don't have a great many friends, or their characters aren't well built, the co-op menu works great. So go ahead and inspect some high AR accounts and see who's got flashy characters on their display and try adding them as a friend. You'll find that many are happy to add you so that you can borrow their characters for some fun in the theater. This can be a fun way to try out characters you don't have, or to go crazy with a Constellation 6 character you've always wanted to try. While it's great to have gear on many characters you'll bring in, if you have one damage dealer per boss, as well as a few decently built other characters here and there, you'll find you'll be able to make it through most stages. The combat in Imaginarium Theater isn't necessarily the hardest for the mini stages. The bosses are usually where the challenge is. The mini stages will require you to put on your thinking cap and plan a little bit. The way that the roster works is that you need to have 4 characters per stage, and you can only use each character twice. Along the way, you'll be able to get buffs and power-ups, which we'll talk about later, which will help make up for your lack of stats. That doesn't mean that you'll always be able to get away with completely unequipped characters, but between a decent amount of good support characters, such as Fischl or Xingqiu, Xiangling, and others who are staples for any account, the trial characters they give you, as well as the good ones that you focused on, you should be able to make it through. I mentioned each character can only be used twice, so you need to plan accordingly. While the elements in the theater might not always be synergistic, for example, Dendro and Cryo, they have added theater-only buffs, which help with this. These come in the form of cards, which you purchase with flowers you get by clearing the stages, or by bringing additional characters. So plan out your actions carefully. My strategy to make it to the end, even in lunar mode, is to pull as many characters as I can early on, depending on the difficulty level. When I'm doing Visionary or Lunar, this means I try to take as many characters as I can before stage 5. Generally, I want to use the trial characters as much as possible during these stages because the trial builds will be a bit weaker and the enemies get harder as you go. By level 5, you should have enough characters that with the new characters you'll get by clearing the stage, you will be able to make it to the end of the theater. From level 5 onward, typically you can choose more buffs. However, depending on the random draw of the cards, this may not always be possible. Sometimes the trial characters just don't work out in your favor, and if you're going for those Stella stars, you may actually find that you want to take a buff card or two before level 5, and that's okay. Find what works for you. That's part of the fun of Imaginarium Theater, is that there is a bit of randomness, and you get a different gameplay experience each time you try it. The buffs in Imaginarium Theater can be very powerful, so definitely do recommend picking them up. Generally, I focus on 1 or 2 types of the reactions. There are 3 available, and while you technically can get enough flowers to go and max all of them by the end of the theater, it's usually not typical. It requires a lot of extra bonus flowers and isn't really worth it. So if you're looking to get the most out of it, focus on 1 type of reaction and power that one up to level 4. So, for example, with Hydro and Pyro, you might get your Vaporize reaction to be extremely strong. Or, if you're particularly weak with Cryo characters, and it's the Cryo and Dendro season, you might use the very powerful Rime Grass buff. On the earlier modes, it may not be possible to get to level 4, so don't worry too much about that. There are these cards called Mystery Caches. Now these are a bit of a gamble, and back in the day, they were definitely worse. They do seem to change each season, and they've been getting more and more pleasant to take. If you've got a mystery cache, especially a free mystery cache, take it. They can offer big rewards, and these days very little downside. Or sometimes not so great, like use all of your flowers to get a character. That one feels pretty bad if you've got 200 or 300 flowers right on level 1. But the good news is, if you are in level 1, you can just stop your run and restart if that happens to you, so you can try again. It is a bit random, and that's okay. Mystery caches can be quite powerful. There are a few cards which are particularly good and useful if your account is a little bit weaker and you have at least a strong DPS that you want to use, and you'd like to use them on additional stages, or if you just need a bit of an extra help. These are the Restore 1 Vigor, or Restore 1 or 2 Vigor, or potentially Restore 2 characters to your alternate cast. Each of these will allow you to bring back characters that you've already used, depending on their particular card. Let's talk Lunar Stages. The Lunar Stage first appears at level 4 when you're doing Lunar mode. Now, just because it appears at level 4 doesn't mean you need to do it at level 4, nor do I recommend doing it at level 4. As long as you complete it before level 10, it counts. Therefore, you can wait until the end of your run to do it. Or, if you don't get particularly lucky on your draws, say around level 7 or 8 for the cards, or there's a particularly tough set of enemies, and you don't have any rerolls left, then you can clear this stage to redraw the cards for the next stage, which is pretty nice. And speaking of rerolls, you can use these to reset the cards on the board when you're playing, in case you want to try for, say, a mystery cache or a buff that you want, or a character card. Once you've cleared the Imaginarium Theater, if you've cleared in Lunar mode, you'll have the option to pick a Lunar Arcana, which is like a collectible card that you can actually trade with your friends. These look great. They have a little bit of lore behind them, but are purely cosmetic. So don't sweat if you don't get these. Don't worry about it. And that's it for this guide on the Imaginarium Theater. We went through the different difficulty levels, planning your leveling, picking up cards and bonuses, the stages, the different types, and planning for the highest level clears for maximum rewards. Have you cleared the Imaginarium Theater? Are you still trying? Or do you need more tips? Let me know in the comments where you're at in your journey in Genshin Impact. If you liked this video, please hit like and subscribe, and thanks as always for watching. Take care.